Hello everyone, Daniel here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a review for the premiere episode of Interview with a Vampire. This is now on AMC Plus, premiering on October 2nd on AMC. So based on Anne Rice's iconic novel, Interview with a Vampire, follows Louise the Point epic story of love, blood, peril, and the perils of immortality as told to the journalist Daniel Malloy. Experience the dark, sumptuous retelling of the first series in Anne Rice's Immortal Universe. So yeah, I was able to watch this a little earlier because I have AMC Plus. So if you're waiting, make sure to go check that out. Episode 1, In Throes of Increasing Wonder. This episode focuses on Louis meeting the vampire Lestat in 1910s in New Orleans. Directed by Alan Taylor, written by Roland Jones. Stars Jacob Anderson as Louis. You may remember him from Game of Thrones. Eric Bogosian as Daniel Malloy. He's been in a lot of things. Most recently, I believe, Succession, and Sam Reed, who is a fresh face to me. I'm not remember seeing any work with Sam Reed as Lestat the Lion Court. So we have our main vampires. We have our reporter, and if you're the only way I'm familiar with this material is via the movie from the 90s. I haven't read any of Anne Rice's books or novels, which really leads me to be really interested in this whole Immortal Universe that they are that looks like AMC is going to be bringing to the screen. So not just this specific book, but also maybe some of the other writings from Anne Rice. I really enjoyed the show. I was not expecting to be as on board with this show as I like. I like vampire stuff, but not is not like my favorite thing. But this was really good. I think the show is very well written. I think it has a lot to say, and I just really enjoyed the way that they brought this world to life, both in via the dialogue, the performances. Specifically, I think Jacob Anderson does a fantastic job portraying Louis in just as this really confident character. But then once Lestat begins his courting or it almost feels like he's being hunted. But then we realize that that's not the case. It's really interesting. It's very different, I think, from what we saw in the movie. But I feel like it really works for the world that has been set up in this show. Also, the show looks amazing. I love New Orleans. I've been a couple times, and I just really like the vibe of the place. Obviously, this is in the early 1900s, so things are very different. The New Orleans was a very different place. The country was a very different place, but I think overall, like the feel of the city, is still remains. All that has remained throughout the years. So they really bring a lot of that stuff, and they just really introduce very interesting an interesting society that has introduced that we're focused on, where we have this outsider, Lestat, coming in, and because of his charm and him being a vampire and the things that he's able to do, just very uh, seamlessly infiltrates. It's really it like I said earlier, it feels like a hunt, but then we realize there's way more than that. So yeah, it was just really cool to see unfold. There's definitely some stuff that's very hard to take in. So there I believe there's a content warning at the beginning of the episode. But yeah, it's overall it just really plays. Nothing is done just to be gratuitous. I don't feel like I know sometimes like shows like Game of Thrones or stuff on HBO. Sometimes they have gratuitous violence or sex or sexual content as part of what brings people into the shows. I feel like with this there was a purpose to everything that was happening. So I really enjoy that. There's so much. There's a really cool sequence for a wedding that I really enjoyed. So and overall, like Jacob Anderson's performance, like his the way he changes from the character that he is when he's in the 1900s to the character that we meet that's being interviewed by Doctor by Malloy. Um, it's such a different person. Like you almost can't believe that it's being played by the same individual. But that's just that's just what Anderson brings to the role. It was really interesting. I really enjoyed it. And I'm gonna keep watching the series. I don't know if I'll do coverage every week. We'll see if you guys are enjoying this content. I'll definitely keep it up. It's just hard to do a lot of weekly shows, but some of them should be coming to an end soon. But that being said, I'm excited to see what AMC wants to do with the rest of Anne Rice's works. Like I said, the Immortal Universe is not something I'm super knowledgeable about, but I like that stuff. Like the overall, like you know, it's not just real. It's not really horror. Not just only horror. I think there are horror aspects of it, and there are horror aspects in this show. But there's so much more. Like it's not just one genre. It's just a mixture of all these genres that really make an interesting work. So let us know in the comments what else you would love to see adapted from Anne Rice's works, and what you thought of this episode. If you want a review from somebody that's a lot more familiar with the material, my friend Kate at Budweiser, she did a fantastic review of episode 1. I'll link it in the description of the video, because I read that and it just kind of blew my mind, like all the insight that she provides, just based on being a fan of the works. So yeah, it's very different. But this is my point of view. But I want you guys to experience from all kinds of point of views, and this is something that I really enjoyed. So as always, thanks for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe. Let us know what else you want us to cover this fall. There's a lot of stuff coming out. We have a lot of anime coming out. We'll definitely have some Halloween, more horror themed coverage in the next few lives. And yeah, stay tuned because we have a lot more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff here in the channel. And as always, thanks for watching, everyone. Bye bye.